In the midst of everything happening with the Supreme Court, we learned last week through this leaked decision that in all likelihood, unless something changes, the current Supreme Court is going to be voting to overturn Roe v. Wade as soon as the end of June. In the midst of all of this, protests at the houses of Supreme Court justices, et cetera, and of course, the search for the leaker, which I really wonder how that's going. Public confidence in the Supreme Court has absolutely collapsed from where it was. There's a new poll. Confidence in Supreme Court collapsed since conservatives took control. This is a new Yahoo News YouGov poll, which shows that over the last 20 months, American confidence in the court has collapsed. This is a period that started with Trump and Republicans putting in that 6-3 conservative majority with the replacement of Ruth Bader Ginsburg by Amy Coney Barrett, and that this has culminated with the leak of the draft signaling that Roe v. Wade will be overturned. The last time Yahoo YouGov asked about confidence in the court was September of 2020. That was just a few days after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Then 70% of registered voters said they had some or a lot of confidence in the court, whereas 30% said they had a little or none. In the new survey, a 40-point swing where now only half of voters expect some or a lot of confidence, while the other half now expresses a little or no support. That is, those are incredible numbers. And as the article points out, views on key aspects of American life rarely shift that suddenly. And the question is why? The question is why. Now, there's tons of speculation as to why, but one important element of this to understand is that we now have 5 of the 9 justices on the court appointed by presidents who lost the popular vote. So just take a step back for a second. Most Americans believe that abortion should be legal in most cases. Americans are more in favor of abortion today than at any point during the Roe v. Wade era. And we have this forthcoming decision where the Supreme Court is going to say, no, we're getting rid of Roe v. Wade. Abortion isn't even going to be a right anymore. Okay, well, let's look at the makeup. It's a 6-3 conservative court in which 5 of the 9 justices were chosen by presidents who lost the popular vote. George W. Bush selected Chief Justice Roberts and Samuel Alito. Donald Trump selected Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. 5 of the 9, the loser of the popular vote got to pick. Okay, that's number one. Number two, those choices, again, made by a president who lost the popular vote, were confirmed by a completely anti-democratic Senate in which California, with 30-something million people, and Wyoming, with under 1 million people, I hope I'm getting these population numbers correct, 30-something million, under 1 million, California and Wyoming have the same number of votes. Consider the lopsided and undemocratic nature of this. And of course, we have to also say one of those seats should have been Barack Obama's choice, should have been Merrick Garland. But thanks to Mitch McConnell from the completely anti-democratic Senate being able to obstruct that nomination long enough for Donald Trump to eventually install Neil Gorsuch. So it makes sense that with such a prominent decision now in the forefront, you would have Americans saying, I'm not confident in this court. I don't approve of what this court is doing. And Coleman Hughes yesterday said it's a feature of the Supreme Court that it is sort of insulated from public pressure, public opinion, etc. That's fine. That would be a feature to me as well. As I thought about it overnight, I came to this realization. That's all well and good, assuming we're confident about the way we got to these 9 people on the court. And I'm not. I mean, again, 2 presidents who lost the popular vote got to decide thanks to the votes from Republican senators from disproportionately lower population states, giving these Republican senators outsized influence. I'm going from memory here, and don't hold me to this, but we looked at a statistic where something like, I think it was You could have a situation where you have a majority in the Senate with the senators that represent only 17% of the American population because of that population skew. I hope that makes sense. So it makes sense to me that you are seeing this swing. As many have noted, you don't usually see such significant swings on major issues of public opinion, something that it's not every day. People don't think every day about, do I have confidence in the Supreme Court or don't I? That's not something most people think about every day. People are busy living their lives and working. And to see such a drastic swing in such a short period of time isn't common. And so on the one hand, it's good in that lots of people seem to be paying attention to something that they often wouldn't. On the other hand, we don't really have much recourse here. And that's by design. And that would be fine, assuming we felt good about the process. I don't. And I'm curious to hear from you. What if you could get through an entire nonfiction book in just 15 minutes? Blinkist takes top nonfiction books in every genre, boils them down into a text or audio explainer that you can consume in 15 minutes. Of course, Blinkist would never replace reading real books in their entirety, but Blinkist lets you absorb the most important insights from the nonfiction books you wouldn't otherwise have time for. I have a ton of different ways I consume information, and Blinkist is one of those, and it's super efficient. I just used Blinkist to listen to the book Toxic Positivity. Super interesting, just about this like happiness obsessed culture that now we live in. Got through it in 15 minutes with all of the key points. Blinkist also takes tons of popular podcasts and creates a 15-minute explainer for each episode. And Blinkist really just empowers you to grow by discovering new ideas, knowledge that will give you valuable new perspectives about the world. Go to Blinkist.com/Pacman to try Blinkist free for 7 days, and you'll get 25% off a premium subscription that's just $6.25 a month. The link is down below.